Hello students, you are welcome to today's lecture series on SS107, Element of Government and Administration, Study Section 1. The title of today's topic is Elements of Government. Introduction. A government is a system by which a state or community is governed. We need to know that the agency through which the purpose and cardinal objectives of a state are achieved is called government, and whose organization could be seen either through the territorial structure or by functionality. Government could be defined as the orderly control and direction of the affairs of a group of people in an organized society. In this study section, you will be introduced to the meaning and definition of government, the basic functions of government, identify the means of classifying government, and the factors that determine the type of government practiced. Outline of study section 1. On completion of this study section, you should be able to define the meaning of government, discuss the basic functions of government, identify the means of classifying government, discuss the factors that determine the type of government practiced. Meaning and definition of government. A government is the organization, machinery or agency through which a political unit exercises its authority, control and administer public policy, and direct or controls the actions of its members or subjects. Each of these tiers is recognized by the nation's constitution and has different constituted authorities running the affairs at the level as enshrined in the constitution. However, another prism through which a government could be viewed is the organs and institution through which the day-to-day activities of the state are carried out. These are the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary arms, which are the bodies responsible for the enactment, enforcement, formulation, and implementation of laws and as policies for the betterment of the people. Branches of government. The branches of government are the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Functions of a legislator. Legislator performs the following functions: enacts laws, oversees administration, pass the budget, air public grievances, discuss subjects like development plans, national policies, and international relations. Functions of executive. An executive performs the following function by enforcing law, maintaining peace and order, repelling aggression, building friendly relations with other states, when necessary to wage war to protect the country, making appointments to higher posts, raising money and spending them. And the judiciary performs the following function: administration of justice, to determine what is law and what is the scope and meaning of it, to give advisory opinion on matters referred to it, to issue orders or writs for the purpose of preventing violation of rights and laws, to act as guardians of the Constitution. Functions of government. Generally, what could be regarded as primary duties of a government in a society are: 1. To maintain law and order, 2. Protection of lives and properties to guarantee individuals' rights and liberties, 3. To defend the nation's corporate existence from an external invasions or internal insurrections by providing security through land borders, airspace, and territorial waters, 4. Administration of justice and conflict resolution between the government and the citizen on one hand, and amongst the citizen on the other hand, clearly set out and well articulated under fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy. Means of classifying government. The following are the means of classifying government: 1. Aristotle's classification, 2. Thomas Hobbes' classification, 3. Montesquieu classification, and John Locke's classification. Taking the classifications one after the other, starting with the Aristotle classification. In ancient times, Aristotle classified government based on two principles, which are: 1. Numbers of persons in whose hands the authority of the state is vested. 2. Purpose of the state on which it postulates that the government is of two types, the normal and perverted forms of government. It further explains the normal type of government as one when the ultimate aim of the government is the welfare of the people, while the perverted form of government is one where the government machineries are used in promoting personal or group interests of the functionaries or a select few in the society. The real purpose of Aristotle's classifications is to justify the excellence of a particular form of rule mixed government called polity. As regards the number of persons holding power, he says that the ruling power may reside in the hands of one, a few, or many persons, while the nature of the exercise of their authority may be either good or bad. He makes use of the ground of quality and quantity of ruling persons that eventually enables to justify quality as the best form of an attainable or practicable government. Moving on to the second means of classifying government is Thomas Hobbes. Hobbes was aware of other names of government such as tyranny, oligarchy, anarchy, but he refused to consider them as other forms of government. According to Thomas Hobbes, those who were discontented under monarchy call it tyranny, those who were displeased with aristocracy call it oligarchy, and those who nursed some grudges against democracy call it anarchy. Moving on to John Locke's classification. John Locke says that if the majority in whom the whole power of the community is placed at the dawn of a civil society retains the legislative power in their own hands and execute those laws by officers of their own appointing, the form of the government is a perfect democracy. If they put the power of making laws into the hands of a few select men and their heir or successor, then it is an oligarchy. But if into the hands of one man, then it is a monarchy, either hereditary or elective. Montesquieu's classification of government. Montesquieu is a French political philosopher held that states are of three types, namely republican, the monarchy, and the despotic. If all or part of the people has the sovereign power, the state is a republic, a democratic or an aristocratic one. A monarchy is the rule of a single person according to law. Despotism, the rule of a single person arbitrarily. Montesquieu indicates the various principles animating the various forms of government, the sustaining and driving powers behind them. In democracy, the citizens' principle of a republic takes the shape of love of country and desire of quality. Factors that determines type of government practice. The ideal method used to choosing type of government depends on the aspects of politics that interest the people most. Some of the factors are as follows: modernity, location of authority, integration. Taking these factors one after the other, starting with modernity, countries of the world differ from one another in terms of per capita income, level of education, technological development, industrialization, urbanization, and availability of such infrastructural facilities. However, such factors tend to be highly intercorrelated because a country lacking in one respect is most likely to be less developed in other aspects. The second factor is location of authority. Under a federal system, for instance, the power for making important decisions are shared between the central, the components unit, and the local authorities, and in most cases, such are explained by the Constitution. In a unitary system, the right to make decisions on all political matters rests with the national government, while the component units exist at the mercy of the central authority. Moving to the last factors that determine the type of government, we have integration. Integration refers to the extent to which the state apparatus are linked with the activities of the individuals and group of society. I'll take that again. Integration refers to the extent to which the state apparatus are linked with the activities of individual and groups in society. In some cases, the exercise of state powers is total, while in some other clime it is a liberal or egalitarian. At one end of the spectrum is anarchism, or belief is in limited or non-government, which is an utopian, but on the other edge is laissez-faire rule, in which the government limits itself to limited obligatory functions that are considered necessary for the survival of the state. The next stage involves the mixed economy, where the government undertakes extensive political and economic functions under the influence of the state socialism. At the far end of the spectrum is totalitarianism. We have come to the end of today's lectures. Hope to see you in the next class. Thank you.